I'm Joe Jaquint, CEO of the Patriot Trading Group. Our toll-free number, 800-951-0592. The website at allamericangold.com. Keeping your financial house in order, wealth insurance, it's what we do. The physical delivery of gold and silver. And yesterday, I told you yesterday. What did I tell you? Yesterday was buying day. I know, but it's hard. You're like, come on, Double. You say it all. You know, it's down. Everything's down, and the dollar's rallying, and I don't know. Buying day. Gold's up 10 or 11, maybe 12, depending on where you look. Silver, we've been waiting. It's here. Big move in silver. Up almost 50 cents to the ounce this morning. And really, this is just a reflection of really what is happening all over now. We can pretend. We can live and make believe. Right? We can tout the great GDP number of months ago. But here is the reality. Things are slowing. Sorry. The Federal Reserve, they've never, ever, not one time have they ever gotten it right. But yet, somehow they're going to tell you this time we're going to do it. And while they're telling you and they're cheerleading that stock market, and they got the whole side of the dial from 350 to 360 on direct TV telling you to buy that paper. Guess what they're doing? They're selling, baby. Sell, sell, sell. Yep, the inside is better. In fact, they've sold so much, they've broken a record. But don't worry. They're going to tell you to keep on buying. 800-951-0592. Yesterday, I ran a great deal. Told you about those 20s. They were $12.75, but I gave volume discounts. I said if you bought 10 or more, I'd give it to you at $12.60. Gold's up $10, $11, $12. I'm going to give you one more chance because I like you guys. I do. And you know what? To be fair, see, I know when buying day is. And I buy on buying day. So I'm going to give you one more chance because I'm a nice guy. $12.75 on 20s, 10 or more, $12.60. Let me just tell you. I'll just, because I got nothing to hide here. I'm going to make $50 a coin. You know what? If you buy 1 through 9, I'm going to make $65. Is that okay? That work for everybody? $1,275, 1 through 9, $12.60, 10 or more at 800-951-0592. Silver, best thing I got going. I'm going to tell you what it is. They're not even here yet. Rolls a $50 at $125 a roll. Silver Eagles, man, everybody's here. Matter of fact, I got another guy here locally picking up again this morning. Silver Eagles just hard to get now. Premiums way back up there again. So if you're looking at silver, at least for me, look at the junk silver side of things, and we can help you there. Colorado, I'm going to say this to people in Colorado. We have one case of rounds that I will give you the deal of a lifetime on. There's only one. This is Colorado only. I'm sorry, Phoenix, but it's up there in Colorado, and I don't want to pay to ship it down here. What I'll do for one case of rounds, $15 an ounce. Okay, that's 25 cents over spot right now, or $7,500. But you got to go to the studio and pick it up. We will not ship it for that price. 800-951-0592. We got Fake News Friday coming up. But before that, real quick, obviously we had the hearings yesterday. What a joke. This man should absolutely be confirmed. This was nothing more than dirty, dirty politics. And, excuse me, say what you want. I believe they already know the answers. I do. This is a political thing. If in fact, he really did what they said, he wouldn't get the votes from the Republicans. That's just my belief. The whole thing was a joke. Excuse me, I'm choking here. And anyway, that's just my spin. I think they already know the whole FBI thing and all that. Just a waste of time. All of this could have been handled very, very discreetly, like this woman wanted and had requested from the Democrats. And they could have handled this without anybody doing anything and had it all handled privately. They wanted to turn it into a circus. Congratulations. America took a, well, again, though, you know what? And I'm not just going to blame Democrats, because the Republicans would do the same thing if it was reversed. They would. I just believe that now. We've gotten real skanky, if you know what I mean. But these are the people now that somehow are going to save us from financial ruin. Listen, they are driving us bankrupt. Don't forget. These people that we have elected are bankrupting us at a pace the world has never seen before. And guess what? They're already talking about, hey, we got to go get these guys entitlements because, well, we're going bankrupt. And these are the people that are going to do it to us. And trust me, they're going to have no problem doing it. Obviously, after what you witnessed yesterday, you know they have no problem. Patriot Radio News Hour. We'll be back after the break.
One of these things is not like the others. One of these things doesn't belong. Can you tell which thing is not like the others? Before I finish my song.
From news headquarters, this is
Fake
News
Friday.
Ladies and gentlemen, can I please have your attention? I've just been handed an urgent and horrifying news story. And I need all of you to stop what you're doing and listen.
What is real? How do you define real?
Fake News Friday.
Fake.
Fake News Friday. It's one of those things, and I apologize. I know there's some static on the line. I just think, you know what, they just don't like me. I'm convinced of it now. That this is an act of, they don't want you to know what it is that I know, but don't worry, we'll figure it out. We'll get it out there to you. It is Friday, so that means another great round of Fake News Friday, kind of like this whole little dog and pony show that we've been put through for the last couple of weeks. That all of it a bunch of BS. Sorry, that's what's real. The reason why they did it this way is they knew going the way they've been, what they've tried to act like they were begging for yesterday, this FBI investigation, which they could have done, should have done. They didn't want to do it because they knew what was going to happen. But it is Fake News Friday. That means, Jason, are you here, Jason?
Yeah, I'm on the air, ready to take you on today.
I know you got lucky last week and you got a win. And I know that part of it was because, Ramon, I'm blaming you, by the way.
As well you should, sir.
Yeah, it was totally your fault. The questions were very misleading. They were read poorly.
Wait a minute.
It was bad.
So you're blaming it on Jeremy, basically.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fair.
1,000% Jeremy's fault.
Good.
The way he accented the words deceived me and obviously allowed Jason to win.
He had a deceptive inflection on some words.
Yes.
Fantastic.
Yes, that's exactly what happened. I don't remember exactly the day, the week, the month, the year. I don't even remember the address, but that's what I recall.
Fair enough. Wow. I'm going to turn you down here a little bit. Jason, are you there still?
Yeah, I'm still here. Can you hear me?
Right. Yeah, I can indeed. Shall we begin?
Yeah,
let's do it.
Let's do it. Okay, story number one. Democratic Governor Andrew Cuomo told reporters Tuesday while job losses and high taxes once drove people to leave New York, his administration has ended that trend and improved the local economic situation, the economic situation, I should say. And he said that many of the New Yorkers leaving the state now are doing so for personal reasons or decisions that he called climate-based. So he's blaming the weather. We've heard that excuse before, have we not? Story number 2. 2 members of the MS-13 gang pleaded guilty on September 21st to participating in the murder of 4 men in a park in Long Island, New York. One of the members was 15 when he did the murders and had been deported over 21 times. And the ICE in New York had no comment on the deportations and how he managed to get back into the country multiple times. Story number 3. Last week, CNN dropped a full 41% in daytime TV ratings and fell 36% in prime time compared to the same time last year for this same week. Fox News came in first place during the day, while MSNBC came in second. CNN was 5th behind ESPN and Nickelodeon that I didn't even know was still on the air. All right, you have your 3 stories. What do you think? Story number 1, Joe, let's go first.
Well, I'm going to say this. I've lived in New York, born and raised in New York.
Did they have weather when you were in New York?
You know, believe it or not, they did.
Wow.
Matter of fact, the weather in Syracuse, the sun never came out, and it snowed a lot.
Sometimes
I live
as well.
here because of the weather.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I guess it's hot, but guess what? The sun is out every day.
Mm-hmm.
And, so I'm going to say that, well, let's face it, too. The personal reasons they're leaving because the taxes are ridiculous.
Yep.
And, yes, it's always nicer to move somewhere else. I believe that one. CNN's an absolute turd. I actually, as a punishment to myself, I will turn on CNN and see how long I can stand it. And I do that at least 2 or 3 times a week, and it's usually for 90 seconds or less. So I believe that one. So obviously the fake story has to be number 2.
Okay, you're going with story number 2, MS-13. All right. Jason, let's hear from you, my good man.
Well, I just wonder if, since all 3 of these stories sound like they could be real with the way things are, I feel like maybe this is one of Glenn fudging the numbers. I'm going to guess story number 3, that maybe there's truth in that CNN story, but maybe the numbers or something about that was changed. So I'm going to go with number 3.
Story number 2 is fake, and Joe, you got that one correct.
See, I told you it was Jeremy's fault.
It's all Jeremy's fault.
The world is back in order. Everything is good. I am winning again.
Fantastic.
And Charlie Sheen, we are winning.
Winning. All right, let's go round number 2 here. A pro-gun super PAC has agreed to amend a political ad after the father of a school shooting victim accused them of politicizing the death of his daughter, Emily Keyes. The ad was started by former Arizona Representative Gabby Giffords, and it hits Mike Kaufman, who was locked in a tight re-election fight for his ties to the NRA. The ad depicts text messages from a student to her mother telling her the school is on lockdown because of someone has a gun inside. The student, identified as Emily in the ad, texts her mom saying basically that there's somebody in the school. Let's see here. Again, my computer's acting up a little bit, so give me a moment here. Tomorrow is the 12th anniversary of losing Emily, and to see the story politicized is disappointing, said Key's father, John Michael. Okay, story number 2. Sorry about that being a little goofed up. Computers and all. You know what? I'm going to blame it on the weather. Okay, story number 2 is 6 of 9 brothers and sisters of Representative Paul Gosar, the Republican of Arizona, publicly endorses his Democratic opponent in the midterm elections. The siblings were alarmed at what they saw as the congressman increasingly extremist views on immigration, healthcare, and white supremacy. Ironically, none of the siblings live in Arizona, yet claim Gosar does not represent the views of the people of Arizona. All right, story number 3. And I was told to cue this up, and it sounds just about right. It's about climate change. Climate change is impacting how the Earth spins on its axis, NASA says. The imaginary line that passes through the North and South poles has drifted about 4 inches and caused a decrease in Greenland's ice mass and is the main contributor to the wobble. This makes Greenland one of the top contributors of mass being transferred to the oceans, causing sea level to rise and drift the Earth's axis spin. NASA says that a polar magnetic shift is imminent because of the wobble, and that the tides could reverse, causing rivers to flow backwards at points in the tidal cycle. So we've got, again, story number 1, the texting and the ad. Story number 2, the 9 brothers of Gosar, and 9 brothers and sisters, I should say, and climate change is causing the world to probably end by Tuesday. Okay, let's go with Jason since he lost last time. Jason, you're up.
Yeah, I believe story number 2 is true. You get these guys running for office, and then the system gets a hold of them. And I could see where he has 9 children, and 6 of them are, what happened to Dad? He turned into some crazy person. So I think that's true. The first story, that seems like one of those stories that, anti-gun stuff is just promoted everywhere. So I think that one's true, too. I think story number 3, there's something fishy. I think that one's, there's something about that doesn't sit right. First of all, it just doesn't seem scientifically right. But second of all, I just think that's got to be the fake one.
All right. You say story number 3. Now, Joe, here we go. What story is fake?
Well, I'm going to tell you that 9 brothers and sisters.
6 of the 9. I may have said that wrong. I apologize.
Of the 9.
Yeah,
okay.
So a majority of them, shall we say?
A majority. I was like, wow, that seems like a lot of kids. A lot of brothers and sisters, but again, I'm going to play it safe today because I know if I pick what Jason picks, I'm the winner no matter what. Well, I just think climate change is fake news all around, so I'm just going to go with that one.
So you say also the Earth's axis, correct?
Yes.
All right.
I
Well,
think they made a movie about that once.
Oh, they made a lot of movies about climate change. You both are correct. Both are correct. That's the fake story. Well, everything is fake, and you know how Glenn does what he does. Everything is fake up to the part where the tides could be reversed and rivers flowing backwards. But NASA did say everything else, though.
Oh, okay. All right.
So it's fake. Let's call it fake-ish, shall we?
Fake-ish News Friday. But, Ramon, now, to be clear, can you tell us who the winner was?
Well, that would be Joe.
Oh!
Can I give one quick story that maybe can redeem Jason just in general? Let's see if you can guess it. All right, here we go. Really quick. U.S. Marshal arrests a man Wednesday who fled his home Monday around 1 p.m., and he cut off his ankle GPS monitoring device that was found in a storm drain. Well, he was on house arrest for 2 months before he disappeared. The man was convicted, by the way, in 1993 of first-degree murder and was on house arrest. Is that fake or is that real?
I think that's real.
Joe?
I agree. That's probably I don't know anything about this story, but it sounds real to me.
It is real, and it actually happened just down the street from the station. Initially started over there at Camelback, and it was they caught him in Mesa.
Well, you know what? Hey, good for Mesa. Don't go to Mesa if you're a fugitive. Live somewhere else. How's that?
How in the world do you get an ankle monitor for murder? Murder!
I can't believe. I mean, you can't believe it, but because of the way things are nowadays, it's so completely believable that nobody has.
You know what? It was first-degree murder.
Yes.
So it wasn't like this was kind of like maybe an accident or anything like that.
Yeah, there was.
This was, I guess there's different kinds of murder, but if first degree is like the worst one.
It also had he had a burglary and breaking and entering on that as well. So he robbed somebody, broke in probably, and then killed them.
I see.
But you get an ankle monitor for that. There was probably people who murdered 2 or 3 who got to stay in jail. And then there's the one, you just killed one person.
Well, there you go. Another great round of Fake News Friday. Jason, again, thank you for playing along. Obviously, Ramon.
I don't have the sorry you lost music for Jason.
And we're going to have to get that. And obviously, I think the streak, yes, well, there needs to be an asterisk towards last week's loss because it was obviously Jeremy, obviously.
I got an asterisk. I wondered, since you've worked with Ramon all these years, you have a better way of pinning him on these answers. Maybe that's the problem I have.
Maybe that's what it is. Maybe Ramon has a tell, and I'm able to pick up on it. I don't know. Could be right. Maybe, Jason. But again, you lose, I win. Fake News Friday. We'll be coming back from the break. We're going to cover all the action in the markets today. We're going to get back to talking about skiers. Is it almost over for them? We'll talk about that next.
This is the Phyllis Schlafly Report, the conservative pro-family broadcast of Phyllis Schlafly Eagles, a leading voice for the sanctity of life, traditional education, the Constitution, and American sovereignty. And now, from the archives of Phyllis Schlafly Eagles, here is Phyllis Schlafly.
The institution of marriage as the union of one man and one woman has been fundamental to America ever since the founding of our nation. The very first national platform adopted by the Republican Party in 1856 condemned polygamy and slavery as the twin relics of barbarism. In recent years, there have been widespread attacks on marriage. The gay rights attack, calling for laws to recognize same-sex couples, has received the most publicity. The radical feminists have always been very anti-marriage, which is why they called their movement women's liberation. Liberation means liberating women from marriage, and so the feminists were the chief lobbyists for the unilateral divorce laws passed by all 50 states during the 1970s. While both those groups want to change our laws, a third attack is coming from some libertarians who want to change marriage by denying government the right to set any standards or benefits for marriage. They think marriage should be only a private contract between two people and none of the government's business. I believe the government has a proper role in protecting marriage and that government should defend its proper definition. The primary purpose of government exercising control over marriage is to establish clear responsibility of the father as well as the mother for caring for those little bundles of helpless infants who appear when men and women do what comes naturally. If the government fails to set standards for who may be married and allows personal contracts to be the only criterion, there would be no grounds to deny marriage to those who want to marry a child or a sibling or more than one wife, practices that are widespread in some other countries. Yes, the government has a very important role in setting the definition and the standards for marriage, and we should resist the libertarians who say that marriage is none of the government's business.
This has been the Phyllis Schlafly Report from Phyllis Schlafly Eagles. The traditional family is the building block of our communities and country. That's why it's imperative to support strong marriages, respect fathers, and champion stay-at-home moms. At phyllisschlafly.com, we oppose the liberal attempt to redefine the family. To join us, visit phyllisschlafly.com. Thanks for listening, and join us again next time for the Phyllis Schlafly Report.
Welcome back. Patriot Radio News Hour, 800-951-0592. That is our toll-free number. I couldn't take it anymore, so we went off the studio line, picked up the old cell phone, coming to you live, still in the studio, just on my cell phone right now. Quick look here. Gold's up 10, $1,192. Silver's up about 44 cents, $14.68 right now. Yesterday we ran a big special. I told you yesterday it was buying day. We had a move in the dollar that was created. It was an anomaly. Number one, there was a calendar issue. Number two, what's been happening in a lot of these emerging markets and the need for them to have access to dollars, because a lot of loans are done in dollars. And really the part of the big culprit in that was the amount of money that these companies brought home. Remember what I told you, right? They don't leave their money in the bank, right? And isn't it funny that they want us to leave our money in the bank, but they don't leave their money in the bank? They buy bonds. And a lot of the bonds that these companies like Apple or Microsoft would buy overseas were loans done in dollars. And so now what we've had, and of course it's ending here, all the share buybacks, but we had a flight to where these countries needed more dollars, so you had a move not based on actual economic data, which is why yesterday I told you it's moving day, it's buying day, and today we got the follow through. I actually thought it would happen before the end of the day yesterday. It took 24 hours for everybody to figure it out. But now we've got this really tough spot we're put in with what the Federal Reserve, they don't have any visibility to anything, and an economy that is clearly starting to slow. All the data has been pointing to it. It shouldn't be a surprise to anybody, but out of the kindness of my heart, and really, you know what? I took my own advice. Jason and I made a decision. We bought every $20 gold piece that we could find yesterday, everywhere. And today we're offering the same deal, U.S. $20 gold pieces, 1 through 9, $1,275, 10 or more at $1,260. On the silver side, we've been telling you about Silver Eagles. Hard to get right now. Everybody wants, you got to pay full price here. Premiums have risen significantly on the silver side. The best way to go at it today, $50. Silver $50 at $125 at 800-951-0592. By the way, those $50 are going to arrive here about somewhere around Wednesday on $50. There's the 20s. We got them in Colorado. We've got them in Phoenix. If you want to call and order today and pick them up today, we can do that for you at both locations, 800-951-0592. Some economic data today. Sears, you've been waiting. How long until they're done? It may be a little sooner than everybody thinks. Shares of Sears fell below $1 for the first time this morning, hitting a new all-time low. Now, when you go bankrupt, doesn't it go to zero? I don't know. They filed bankruptcy a couple of times, but this may be it here. They are running out of time to stay afloat. Shares down 9%, down to 92 cents, as they are running short on the significant, what they're calling significant near-term liquidity constraints. Near-term, medium-term, long-term, right? They just don't have the money now that below $1. If they trade there for 90 days consecutively, Sears will automatically be delisted. They can file a compliance waiver and buy themselves a little more time. I don't know. It really doesn't matter if they file bankruptcy now. I don't think they make it through 2019. What is left of them, they've been parceling it off. All the best properties have already been sold. The brands like Kenmore and Craftsman and all that are all being sold as well. But be ready. Oh, by the way, and I hate to say it because I told you it's coming. The CFO for J.C. Penney's left today. They're next. Right? Here's the way I look at it from the big stores. Sears, Penny's, Macy's, in probably that order, all of them. And they got the same problem. See, the Fed raises rates, and all of these companies that are fighting to stay alive go under. And this is kind of what we've been talking about. I think it was Goldman Sachs said, hey, there's $1.3 trillion worth of corporate debt that just from rate hikes is going to put them out of business. Sears is one of those, right? Sears is one, Penny's is one, excuse me, Macy's and others. And then how about this one? We've been talking about the auction quite a bit, right? Every day we go billions of dollars into debt, and we have to sell it every day. On top of that, we have debt that rolls over. In other words, somebody borrowed money or lent us money, right? We borrowed money on a 2-year note 2 years ago, a 5-year note 5 years ago, a 7-year note 7 years ago. Right now, the amount of debt on that $21 trillion, $22 trillion that we have to roll over, we got to roll over about $7 to $8 trillion this year. And that number is growing every year on top of however much additional debt we go into. So even though they say the deficit's, $900 billion or $1 trillion, right? I keep telling you that's the little number. We actually needed to borrow this year between 1.4 and 1.5 trillion on top of 8 trillion rolling over. So we had to borrow almost $10 trillion. Right? And simple math, then next year we're probably going to have to borrow 11 trillion, maybe 12. By 2020, we're going to have to borrow 13 trillion. By 2022, we're probably going to have to borrow closing in on 20 trillion. And you can see, listen, this is why I'm telling you where I know things are heading. I'm going to talk about yesterday's auction when we return. 800-951-0592. We're down to about 35 rolls of half dollars. That's all that we have left at 125 on the 20s. I've got enough for 4 more. If you want to buy 10, I've got enough to do 4 of those. So there's about 40. And then I've probably got 8 or 9 individuals still left. So U.S. $20 gold pieces, 1 through 9, $12.75. If you want to buy 10 or more, $1,260 at 800-951-0592. Right before the break, I was just talking about the auction, right? Less and less people making bids. Forget about even coming. Just saying, you know what, United States? Yeah, all right, I'll take some of your debt, and I'll make a bid. Less and less people bidding. Every auction this week, I didn't see a single auction where the bid-to-cover ratio was more than 2.5 times. That is, in percentage terms, you're talking about a 30% decrease in the amount of bids coming in just to say, yeah, I'm willing to take some. We're seeing now the dealers, so the big banks that get the privilege of hosting, if you will, placing the bids for the bidders and reaping a profit from it. One of the things that happens to these companies is whatever's left over. In other words, hey, here's the indirect bidders, here's the direct bidders. Whatever else is left, the dealers have to take. Now, some of it, obviously, they want, right? Because they need to have X amount of what they say is Tier 1 capital, which U.S. Treasuries, at least for now, still are. But normally, they'd be taking, maybe they take 10%, 15%, to 20, 10 to 20 is about average. All of a sudden now they're being forced to take 25 and 30% of these auctions. I haven't found out if the Fed is secretly wink, wink, nod, nod, you buy it, and then, by the way, you can sell it back to us and we'll take it. I haven't seen that. Not saying that that's happening, but I do know if this rate continues, something is going to have to change. But that was the auctions all week this week. And so you're starting to really feel the weight of all the debts that are coming. And here's the biggest problem is all of these countries and all of these companies and all of these ones that would normally be buying, they know. They're like, oh, God, this one's a 5-year auction. Yeah, I don't know. 3 months, okay. Right? You're going to make it 5 years from now? Yeah, I don't know if that's such a good deal. And so just something, another one of these things where we talk about, when you heard Jay Powell yesterday, and he's talking about his dot plot chart and how they're going to raise rates 4 more times. And then we'll be okay. Like they actually can do it. And remember what I said in the very first segment. They've been in, we played this rate hike and rate cut game for how many years? And of course, they try to tell us that they do this to help us, right? Hey, we're here to help you. No, they're here to help their buddies, right? And they're here to come out and tell their friends, hey, listen, we're going to support you, even though, you know what, you've overinflated the price of things and all of that other stuff. But here's what's really interesting. Not once, not one time, not one single time has the Fed been in what we call right now, this is a rate hiking cycle, right? Yesterday was the 8th rate hike that they've made, that the Federal Reserve has actually not caused a recession, right? In other words, they always overestimate how good the economy really is. And of course, you know what, when you think about what is happening with this rate hike cycle, and they're coming out, and if you heard his press conference, we can't see any of this stuff that would make us think that we're coming close to the end of this cycle, right? Everything's great. Then let me ask you this. If this was true, why did insiders sell $450 million a day of stock in the month of August? The highest level this year. They sold more than $10 billion in stock, the most of any month, and it literally missed a record by a couple $1 billion. So while they're out there telling all of you, and remember what I've been telling you, this is classic signs of tops, right? Outrageous consumer confidence, outrageous unemployment numbers, outrageous PE numbers, and all of these things that we've seen, right? And then you think about what I'll call soft data. Real high soft data, not so good hard data numbers. And now I'm telling you, corporate buying is taking a breather, right? Well, they brought back all the money. They bought back all the stock they want. And now corporate insiders are ramping up selling and racked up in August, just missing an all-time record high for insiders selling their own stock. See, isn't it great? We puffed up our stock price. The president gave us a great tax cut. We bought back all these shares. Now we're selling it. At the same time, they're telling all of us to buy it. 800-951-0592. The best market research company that I know of, TrimTab. These are the ones, they do the research for all the big banks, all of the Wall Street participants. They said, well, August was almost a record. September may be the record. The best informed market participants, this is out of TrimTab, are selling their own stock in the fastest pace in the month of December that we've seen in over a decade. And they said even as stock buybacks hit an all-time record high this year, corporate insiders are selling, and these numbers are incredible, $400, $500 million a day and more in the month of September, saying that the month's volume is already the highest of any September in the past decade. By the way, this data was out last week, so this was from the 21st of September. And they said insiders are selling hard with their own money. They're committed. They've committed record amounts of shareholder money to prop up their stock, right? Yet they're all hitting the sell button. Listen, it's simple. They see what I'm telling you. I know when you turn on the idiot box or you call your financial guy, they're telling you how great you're doing. I'm telling you, all of the data, right? We're slowing down, and the central banks pretending that we're not, right? I heard Jay Powell loud and clear. All of the bad, well, we just don't see it. We just don't see it, right? And remember, all the other time, they kept raising rates until what? Recession came. And listen, none of the budget projections, none of the things that we talk about as far as where the debt levels are going to be have a recession built into them. If we end up in a recession, and right, you hear guys that I like, right? Ray Dalio says, hey, we don't even have 2 years before the next one, right? You go to now TrimTabs, Charles Biederman, this guy is the best. And he's telling you, and I just told you, insiders have never sold like this in at least a decade, and it's too early to say. September may be an all-time record for insider selling. You think they're selling because they think the Dow Jones is going to go to 30,000? You think they're selling because they think the NASDAQ's going to go to 10? No. They're selling because they think, you know what? I better take some off the table. And that's really what I'm telling you today as far as gold and silver. Add. You should have done it yesterday. I'm giving you the opportunity to do it today. Both of the specials I ran today were the specials yesterday. So you're not – think about the silver special. Silver's up almost 50 cents an ounce. Rolls $0.50. Well, I still got them, whatever I've got left, at $125. You get $10 face value of $0.50, so you're going to get 20 $0.50 in a roll at $125. But the deal of deals, $20 gold pieces, 1 through 9, $12.75, 10 or more, $12.60, 800-951-0592. Everyone have a great weekend. We'll be back Monday.